Hey, this is Todd Fithian, and welcome to Fithian Fridays. I want to talk to you today about a concept that we've developed at Legacy called the production plan. The reason why we created this production plan conversation and this model and structure is because we found ourselves with a lot of clients. You know that if you're listening to this, you know my primary clients are financial advisors, right? But regardless of where you are, if you've got revenue goals, growth goals, this will apply to you. This is something that you can apply to you, to your business, to things you're doing. But again, I'm talking to the financial advisors of the world. But when I oftentimes am meeting clients for the first time and we talk about their business and where they're going and their growth goals and things of that nature, what I find is they're doing a lot of things, meaning they're spending a lot of time, they're spending a lot of money, a lot of resources to generate a result, right? Ultimately, it's to get them in front of more of the right types of people. But when you think about this marketing initiative you're working on, when you think about the dollars you're spending, sponsoring this event or rebuilding your website or creating a brochure, what's the end result that you need for that to provide for you, right? And oftentimes I get kind of a blank stare. The end result of those conversations boils down to one constant thing that I hear all the time: more. Todd, we want to meet more. We want to be in front of more people. But when I really drill it down and say, how many more do you need? And the question is, we just will feel good if we see more. But there's a much more strategic way to think about this, to plan, to strategize this. And for those of you that have had coaches or have set goals and had somebody holding you accountable to those goals, which we always need outside influence, you know that when you set a goal and you work to a goal and you measure how you're doing towards that goal, the reality is it happens. We hit these goals. We exceed these goals. This is what we see in our clients. So let me get back to the production plan. There's really only a few simple numbers and variables that we need to look at. Number one, what's the revenue goal? What's the revenue goal that you want to achieve? I love looking at that because it gives people an opportunity to dream, to plan, to project, and it should be a reach, but it shouldn't be unattainable, right? Why would anybody want to go after something that they know they can't do? But it should be a reach. It should be exciting. We need to look at the expenses that we have against that goal. So marketing expenses, team expenses, business, staff, things of that nature. And what those two numbers together are going to give you is a rough estimate of kind of your all-in revenue need that you need to achieve, right? So if you're trying to make $500,000 of revenue and you've got 150 expenses, your all-in net on that is $650,000. A couple of more things that are important for us to look at. We want to understand what's the average revenue of an engagement with a client, or if you're not in financial services and you're selling something else, right? Like what's the average revenue you get from a deal? Okay. Average. We don't have to be perfect. This is kind of like accounting where we need to go in with a guesstimate, an estimate as best and as close as we can. And then when we actually get into it and we start executing, we'll come back and we'll measure to see what actually happened and what is the actual revenue. And you can dial it in and make it tighter as you go. However, again, so we want to look at what's the average revenue you gain per client. And then from there, what we want to look at is if we put you in front of 10 ideal opportunities, 10 ideal prospects, how many of them become clients in your world? This is where we need to be real. I don't care if it's 30, 50, 60, 70%. I don't care what the number is when I first start working with a client. Ultimately, I want my clients in that 80 plus range, right? 80% or more of the time we put you in front of an ideal prospect, they're converting. And there's a lot more that goes into making that happen, but you have to know what your conversion number is. Be real about it. Be truthful. Here's what all of that info is going to inform you of. If this is your revenue goal, this is your all-in cost, this is the average revenue you make per client per deal, right? And this is how many people you close when we put you in front of ideal prospects, it's going to tell us ultimately how many opportunities you need to be in front of in the next quarter, the next half a year. You can do this over any period of time, right? But let's say we're looking at what's going to make you have the best 2024 ever. It's going to tell us how many people do we need to put you in front of, right? And then based upon the people we put you in front of, you're going to close X%, and this is the number of clients you need to hit your goal. Be strategic in your planning. You shouldn't be doing marketing activities and efforts and spending dollars in those things without knowing the end result that you need to achieve so you can have your best year ever or your best quarter ever. Again, I don't care what the time frames are, but if you get strategic and you plan and you constantly measure, guess what? You're going to achieve things that you never ever thought were possible in your business and see just crazy growth. That's what we want for you. If you want to see the formula, it's a simple Excel. Reach out to me. You know where to find me. Reach out, respond into this video today. I hope you got something great out of this. I look forward to seeing you next Friday and every Friday moving forward. Have an unbelievable weekend. Take care.